Hello viewers, you're welcome to another edition of Pew and the Pulpit. My name is Reverend Clifford Irondo. I'm the curate of the Anglican Church of the Holy Spirit Bronze, 3840 Seaton Avenue, Bronx, New York. Today we have Dr. Somechukwu Onoha with us. He's a medical doctor in New York, and is an expert in his field. He's here today to talk with us on an important topic which affects the Africans, the black community, and unfortunately we have been taking it for granted. So he's here today to give us, or will I say to download, so that we'll be able to know what we're doing and how we'll try to stop or to reduce this issue that affects us as blacks. Because if you look at they will tell you the risk factor of having a hyperlipidemia is because you are black. So doctor is here to tell us what it is and what we are going to do to address this issue. Doctor, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
So please, can you tell us what's actually hyperlipidemia?
Okay, thank you very much.
The name is too high. Hyperlipidemia. It is too high. So tell us what it is.
Thank you very much. Exactly. Yes, you're right. Hyper means high. Hypo means low. So we're all getting it. So hyperlipidemia. So viewers, we're going to be talking about generally cholesterol level in our society. So hyperlipidemia, like Reverend mentioned, means there's a high level of lipids. So what are lipids? What is cholesterol? What is fat? These are medical things that are thrown out in the streets. We'll be trying to explain them the way we'll all understand it today. So cholesterol. Cholesterol is a substance that is in our system, in the blood. It is insoluble in water, but is soluble in organic convents. There are several types of this cholesterol. So generally when we say lipids, lipids covers everything. And in our system, what worries us most are particular types of these substances. You will know in layman terms, they say there's the good fat and there's a bad fat. Okay. So hyperlipidemia means that the level of lipids in the body is high. And in these substances, there are the main ones we concentrate on when you come to the hospital, or the ones that are of medical importance to us. One is low density lipoproteins. We call it LDL. Another one is cholesterol level. Remember, the cholesterol comes again. So the whole umbrella, they are all called lipids, but then cholesterol is one notorious one inside there. Another one is high density lipoproteins. And then you have many other ones, very low density lipoproteins, chylomicrons, there's so many of them. But for our general knowledge, it's good for us to know low density lipoprotein is the bad fat, LDL. And normally this is the one your doctor will do. This is the one that helps us know, do you have high cholesterol? This is the main one we look at. Yes, we also look at another one that is called the cholesterol, total cholesterol level. And then we look at the high density lipoprotein. High density lipoprotein is the good fat. This is the one that protects your heart. So in a nutshell, when we look at the levels, the low density lipoprotein, we want it to be below 90 if you don't have any comorbid condition. But if you have high blood pressure, or you are diabetic, or you have heart disease, or other medical conditions, we want it to be below 70. Then high density lipoproteins, we want it to be above 40 because that protects your heart. So in a nutshell, what are they? Hyperlipidemia means high lipids, and the ones that are notorious would be the low density lipoproteins, the cholesterol, and the good one is high density lipoprotein.
Thank you, doctor. I discovered that, in Nigeria, we tend to, if somebody is not fat, they will look at you that, that you're not well nourished. But I'm not saying that being fat is has anything to do with that. But discover that some people even eat fat. Some people go to the market, they buy fat, and they cook it, they eat. And because of the condition of the country, people buy anything and people eat anything, and they don't care about what they are doing, and they feel that because the country is hard, more especially what is going on right now, you see that people are having difficulty finding food to eat. So whatever they grab, people go to the market, they say, "Madam, give me fat." They go to the meat sellers, that's what they buy. But I want us to look at what actually are the causes. What are the causes of this hyperlipidemia? You say the hyperlipidemia. What are the causes?
Okay, thank you very much. So the causes will be genetic and environmental. So some people, I say unfortunately, or some people have a genetic predisposition to keeping so much fat in their system. So remember, these fats, there are two sources of these fats. It's either we eat them by mouth or the liver is bringing them out. Remember, the liver stores these substances and brings them out when we need them. Yes. So there are two ways. So either the one we're eating exogenously from the outside or the one that is being brought by the liver. So the two causes, genetic. Some people have a genetic predisposition of having so much fat in their system. That's one. That one, there's nothing much you can do about it. That is just how you are. But the one you can't do something about is the environmental one. Like you mentioned, people buying fat to eat. Down in science, we know that it's not the right thing. Our people, it's cheaper to buy fat than to buy the organic food. We know that. But the thing is, fat, there has been many studies about it. A man in America called Dr. Atkins did advocate many years ago for people to eat ketogenic diet, just fat. His proposition was that if you ate only fat, your body would have to break down the fat to bring out carbohydrates. That was his assertion. And many people did that. But the body of science did not encourage that. Many people still do that till today. I'm not here to market anything, but what I'm saying is, in a nutshell, hyperlipidemia could be genetic or it could be environmental. These are the two main types. Then what can you do? What predisposes you to either? One thing is, like I said, are people buying fat to eat is wrong. Wrong. No, we shouldn't. We should moderate the extent of fat that we take. So, for a normal person, what we normally say, and when you talk about body size, we have what is called body mass index, or BMI. This is a ratio of your weight in kilograms to your height in meters squared. Mm-hmm. So what we say is somebody for your body mass index should be 18 and above. Some places they say 18.5 and above. So 18 to 25 is a normal body mass index. What we say is the standard, what we all aspire to have. Anything from 25 to 30 BMI, we say is overweight. So you're in the risk area. You're falling off. Anything from 30 to 35 is mild obesity. That means you're going into the pathologic range where we don't want people to be. Anything from 35 to 40 is moderate obesity, and anything from 40 and above is what we call morbid obesity. As you go up on this range from 25 and above, it increases your risk for hyperlipidemia and most other medical conditions that are bad. So, how do we do it? What do we do to keep ourselves away from high cholesterol? Like I said, if you have genetic predisposition, there's nothing you can do about it. Then, for the environmental one, yes, you can moderate the things you eat. We start by telling people, go for low-fat or non-fat milk. If you go to the market, you see skimmed milk. That means no fat. Or low-fat, the one that has 1% or maximum 2%. For adults, you should not take any milk that is more than 2%. Some people buy milk that is said full fat. So even if you have full fat milk and somebody offers you for free, do not take. Free is not good in that extent. But for little kids below 2 years of age, yes, we give them fat fortified because they need it. So that's one thing. The other ways are things like bread. I'll go with common things we eat every day. You know, we have if you go to Lagos, you see abgege bread. You see white bread, you see brown bread. For adults, it's good to keep to the brown bread, or what we call wheat bread. That has low fat as well. In terms of food substances, you know, there are some foods that we should take more. So plant fat is better than animal fat. We need fat to our system, but the plant one is better. So it's good to avoid the animal fat. So things like you mentioned, the fat, yolk, things that have lots of cholesterol in them. So the yolk we have in milk has what is called cellulose. It's not actually digested in man. So please, if you're eating eggs, please throw away the yolk. Just eat the egg white. So these things, with this, you can reduce significantly the extent of fat you're putting in your system. You go to the cafeteria or the lady at the street, and they are putting this here with one big pot for you. Eat a half pot. Don't eat a big one, because most of the things they are going to mix up there are things that have high fat. We are not saying that people should change their way of life, but just modify the way of life. That way you can reduce the extent of fats that you're taking. Also, in terms of fat, we have what we call the saturated and unsaturated fat, which I mentioned, the good fat and the bad fat. So because in Africa, we historically have been eating some food substances which we are known for. Some of them have reasonable quantity of the fats. The bad one we don't want. That's why in this educational series, I've advocated that, you know, even the world over amongst my colleagues, we should add dietary teaching in what we do in the clinic every day, even if it's 1 or 5 minutes, to tell the patient what they are eating that is wrong and what is right. At least let them know. And then they can adhere, they can choose whatever they want.
Oh, doctor, I love that. I think the churches shouldn't be left out from this. I think also from what you just pointed out, we should also, as a church, also organize health programs from time to time, you know, to educate our members. It's not, spirituality is important, but health is also important, because everything we attribute it to devil. Everything is not about devil. Sometimes there are some factors we can eradicate. There are certain things we can, you know, catch up as early as possible. You know, there's just people going for checkup and everything. And as you talked about eating, people who fry akara. You know, we have people fry, went to park and eat everything. I see people eating all kinds of things, and because they want to, because there's hunger in the land. So these things are good. But the other thing I think he's talking about is we should reduce the quantity and make sure that whatever you eat, you know, you are eating to a certain level. Because they say, I wolf with the wrong belly. And that's our people. So, doctor, please, can you tell us what are the things we can look out for to identify when somebody's having hyperlipidemia?
Good. Thank you very much. A very good question you asked. Notoriously, people do not have any symptoms until they get to the complications of this problem. So somebody could have high lipid levels for years without knowing it, and they come down with complications. These complications could manifest as blood pressure, it could manifest as diabetes, it could manifest as kidney problem. So look at it this way, like I mentioned. Lipids are fatty or oily substances in your system that are not soluble. So they move around in your bloodstream, and what happens is with time they start attaching to the inside of your blood vessels. So these are blood vessels that carry blood to several areas of your body. So when they attach in these areas, they prevent or obstruct flow to those areas. And at some point they could even block the flow to those areas, and that could lead to a stroke. See how hyperlipidemia buys into a stroke. Then it could also cause a heart attack, which is it's blocking the circulation in a blood vessel in some area of your heart. So these are some of the ways that hyperlipidemia could cause problems. So it doesn't present early. Most times it's asymptomatic. So somebody does not come to the clinic to tell you, I have high cholesterol, or doctor, I think I have a lipid problem, but they will come with other complications. But the commonest one you could see is what we call acute senilis. So somebody could come, and if you look at their eyelids, it looks as if it's swollen or is hypopigmented, like something like some swellings on the eyelids. So please, if you have swellings on your eyelids, localized swellings on your eyelids, tell your doctor to check your cholesterol level to be sure that it's not high. Then the other things are, sometimes people might have exertional dyspnea. So they take a walk, and after a little while, they are feeling tired, they are panting for air. That's another thing that could happen. Some other people, when these lipids go to block the blood vessels in their legs, they walk and they have what we call claudications. So they are walking, and each time they walk, they tell you they have pains in their legs, and when they stop walking, this pain goes away. So this is another way for you to know. But in a nutshell, they do not have any symptoms. They just come with complications of this disease, and that is why in our routine yearly checks, cholesterol level is one of the things we do when patients come. For, like I said, for every adult, we do that. And to tell you in terms of preventative things that we do, notoriously, men are more likely to have high cholesterol compared to women. So we start for men at an earlier age, women at a little later age. So men is from 25 years, we start checking it. And if you, from 25 years, if you have a family history of what we call atherosclerotic heart disease. And for women, we start at 35 years. If you have a family history, if you do not have, we start at 45 years. And in these things, what do we check? Like I said, we check what we call the lipid profile or the lipid panel. That's what the test is called. And in this lipid panel, it will have the LDL, low density lipoprotein, and it will have the HDL, high density lipoprotein, which is the one that protects you. It will have the cholesterol level. Then it will have some other ones, which I said, some of them not very, it will have another one called triglycerides, which is also important. So these levels, in a nutshell, to know, your total cholesterol, we aim to keep it below 200. Your LDL, we aim to keep it below 190 if you do not have any comorbid conditions. But if you do have any comorbid conditions, then we want it to be below 70. And these comorbid conditions could be, you've had a heart attack before, you've had peripheral vascular disease, that is blocked vessels outside in your system, outside your central area, is blocked in any way, or you've had what we call angina. Angina is also another cardiac problem. So, or you've had what we call TIA, or a mini stroke, or you've had a stroke. So if somebody has any of these, we tend to maintain them at a much lower level in terms of the cholesterol level. Okay, thank you, doctor. You know, just like somebody having a pipe borne water in a pipe, you know, in a pipe, that, you know, if the pipe is free, the water will flow very well. Just like this hyperlipidemia brings about, you know, just like a clog on our blood vessels. You know, when the blood vessels is clogged, just like pipe, when the pipe is clogged, it starts rusting, and once it starts rusting, what will happen? It's going to explode, and it will become a very major health issue. Doctor, thank you. I also want to ask, is there any treatment available for this? Yes, definitely there's treatments. You know, historically, everything in terms of treatment in medicine, we have non-pharmacologic and we have pharmacologic treatment. So let's all just know it. You know, if you live healthy, you know, you will live long. If you live unhealthy, you may still live long, but it may be a terrible life. Sometimes they say it is not the years that matter, but it's the life in those years. So you could live 100 years, but then the 100 years you were so sick in 50 of them because of the way you lived your life and the lifestyle you led. So in terms of treatment, so there are treatments options, non-pharmacologic treatments. So it's healthy lifestyle, keeping the cholesterol levels low, eating things that I mentioned, most of them, low-fat diets, taking things that do not have so much cholesterol, eating small portions, eating more of vegetables. We are blessed in Africa and Nigeria. We have lots of fruits that we can eat, vegetables, fresh organic products that we can eat. These things fill our tummy, and we don't have much need to eat most of these high-fat containing substances. So that's for that. Second one is exercise. It's good to exercise, like I said, 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise every week keeps you healthy. So these are the two things. Other thing, reduce or stop smoking. Alcohol, reduce alcohol intake. Take only red wine and not all the time. That will be helpful. Then pharmacologic treatment. It's a whole gamut of medications we use to treat cholesterol or lipid problems. The commonest one is what is a medication group we call the statins. So most people will be on a medication called atorvastatin or Lipitor. So this is the commonest medication. It's one of the very potent ones. Lipitor or atorvastatin. Another one that is very potent is one called Crestor or rosuvastatin. So these two medications are the highest in terms of potency to bring down the cholesterol level. Then these ones are what we call HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. Medical grammar. They are medications that reduce the cholesterol level. This is where they act. Then we have other ones. There's one we call ezetimibe. This is a medication also that reduces cholesterol level. We have fabric derivatives. These are also another group of medications. And then we have the cholestyramines. So there are 4 groups of medications that we could use. But commonest one is the atorvastatin or rosuvastatin, the statins. The statins themselves, like I said, more than 90% of people who have high cholesterol will be on this medication at some point in their lifetime. If you're on this medication, the main thing you watch out for is for muscle pain.
Hi, friends, I welcome you. My name is the Venerable David Nwanepe. I am the rector of the Anglican Church of the Holy Spirit here in the Bronx. If you find yourself anywhere around the Bronx, New York City, feel free to worship with us. We worship every Sunday, and we have our Bible studies every Wednesday. For Sunday services, we start our services at 11 a.m. and through 1 a.m. And the address, if you want to locate us, you will locate us at 3840 Seaton Avenue here in the Bronx. The zip code is 10466. 10466. To reach us by phone, you will reach us at 929-944-3424. 929-944-3424. For email us at anglicanchurchoftheholyspirit@yahoo.com or info@anglicanchurchoftheholyspirit.org. Or you can as well visit our website at www.anglicanchurchoftheholyspirit.org. And feel free, call us, come worship with us. We worship every Sunday, and on Wednesday is our Bible study. It starts at 7 p.m. Zoom. You'll find our Zoom link here and also on our website. Or you can WhatsApp us. We're also on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 929-944-3424. 3424. That's our WhatsApp number. So reach us, contact us, feel free. For weddings, baptism, our church, we are open. So long as you walk in and accept Jesus Christ, you'll be baptized and you'll become a member of the faith of Christ. And if you are a member and you are married, feel free. We also offer wedding services. And there are so many packages, revival programs. So you are highly welcome. Thank you.
In concluding hyperlipidemia, as mentioned, modalities of treatment are non-pharmacologic without medications and then using medications. So non-pharmacologic treatments are reducing the cholesterol content of your diet, reducing lipids, taking more of saturated fat. Medications, generally, the main group of medications are the medications we call the statins, as I mentioned. These are medications that chemically we call them HMG lyase inhibitors. These medications reduce the fat in our body by putting a brake in the transmission process or the conversion process of the lipids. So these medications usually are taken at night, but when people can't take at night, we say they can take any time during the day. They're once daily medications. People can have some adverse effects as a result of these statins. They come in different names, pravastatin, rosuvastatin, atorvastatin. The commonest ones are the ones we call Crestor. Or we call Lipitor, which is the atorvastatin. So they could give things like muscle ache, which is pain in the muscles, usually in the muscles of the thighs and also in the shoulder areas. And also they can give some problems with your stomach, like having nausea, pain in the stomach. If you have any of these things, please speak to your doctor, because these medications can affect also your liver function. The liver is the organ in the right upper part of our abdomen, especially if you're having abdominal pain. Then, apart from statins, there are other medications that we use. Remember, in the cholesterol, we have in the total cholesterol, we have the low density lipoprotein, we have the triglycerides, and we have other forms of them. So other medications are also used in addition to the statins. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to bring you more health topics from the Anglican Communion on these episodes.